Hello, and welcome to the Unknown Stories and Secrets channel. Today, we'll explore 5 of the most terrifying disasters caused by human actions. While nature often takes the blame for catastrophic events, humanity, through its actions, or inaction, is also responsible for some of the world's greatest tragedies. These disasters have claimed countless lives, wiped entire towns off the map, and even altered the natural world, as in the haunting case of Centralia, Pennsylvania. So, let's begin. 5 terrifying disasters caused by humans. When it comes to natural disasters, we often blame the climate. Yet, it's impossible to ignore the fact that some of the most devastating catastrophes in history were caused by human actions. 5. The Boston Molasses Disaster. Life as a worker in a molasses factory wasn't easy. At least, that's what Arthur Gell thought when he decided to cut corners while constructing a new molasses tank in Boston. He skipped leak tests and hurried through the job, leaving the locals to deal with the consequences. As leaks began to appear, the community viewed the oozing molasses as a warning sign of worse things to come. Rather than fix the problem, the company painted the tank brown to hide the leaks. January 1919 was unusually warm. Fermentation inside the tank released carbon monoxide, increasing pressure and widening the cracks. Eventually, the entire structure burst, unleashing a 5-meter-high wave of molasses that tore through Boston at 50 kilometers per hour. It swept away trains, demolished homes, and caused an explosion that hurled cars off the streets. The disaster claimed 21 lives, injured thousands, and required 87,000 man-hours to clean up. The company initially blamed anarchists for the tragedy, but eventually, they were held accountable and paid damages. 4. The Sidoarjo Mud Volcano. Mud volcanoes are a geological phenomenon where underground mud eruptions reach the surface. What happens if you drill into one? You could ask the workers of an Indonesian gas company who decided to drill near the Pacific Ring of Fire, a high-risk zone for seismic activity. Experienced specialists had warned them to avoid the area, but their warnings were ignored. Overconfident, the team skipped critical safety procedures, such as building a protective wall to stabilize the drill site. The result? They triggered an active mud volcano that spewed 2,500 cubic meters of mud daily, displacing 1.5 million people from their homes. 3. The Aberfan Disaster. For 50 years, workers at the National Coal Board in Wales dumped rocks and debris in an area unsuitable for waste disposal. Over time, local residents expressed concerns about the growing waste heat blocking sunlight, but their warnings fell on deaf ears. In 1966, after days of heavy rain, water mixed with the debris to form a massive landslide. As the landslide gained momentum, it dragged another waste heap downhill. Workers tried to warn the town, but their phones didn't work. Someone had stolen the telephone cable. The landslide engulfed Aberfan, killing 144 people, including 116 children. 2. The Vajont Dam Disaster. In the 1920s, the Italian energy company SAID dreamed of building a massive dam in the Vajont River Valley. Rather than conduct thorough geological surveys, they assured everyone the location was perfectly safe. Experts warned that the surrounding mountains would collapse if the river was dammed. SAID dismissed these claims and began construction in 1959. Small landslides followed, but the company responded by suing any media outlets that reported on the dangers. After a series of earthquakes in the area, SAID continued to fill the reservoir, believing lightning wouldn't strike twice in the same place. Meanwhile, the mountain surrounding the dam was shifting a meter per day. In 1963, relentless rain triggered a massive landslide into the reservoir, creating a 220-meter-high wave that destroyed several villages and killed 2,000 people. The Italian government initially blamed the disaster on divine intervention, but Sade was ultimately held responsible. 1. Centralia, the town that burned from below. In May 1962, the residents of Centralia, Pennsylvania, hired volunteer firefighters to clean up the town dump, which was located in an abandoned coal mine. Their method of cleaning? Setting it on fire. After burning the trash, the firefighters decided not to extinguish the fire. Predictably, the flames spread to the coal seams beneath the town, igniting an underground inferno. The signs of disaster appeared quickly. Roads buckled, smoke rose from the ground, and toxic gases filled the air, making people sick. Yet, no one took the situation seriously. By 1979, the fire's heat had reached 80 degrees Celsius, alarming the owner of a local gas station. In 1981, the seriousness of the disaster became undeniable when a 12-year-old boy nearly fell into a sinkhole in his grandmother's backyard. Once the story reached national attention, Congress allocated $42 million to relocate residents. Most people accepted the offer and moved to nearby towns, but around 1,000 individuals chose to stay. By 2007, only 9 people remained, stubbornly believing their land was still valuable, despite the fact that it was literally on fire. The Centralia fire continues to burn to this day and is expected to smolder for another 250 years. The town is now deserted, with its only visitors being adventurers seeking thrills in a ghost town. While nature can be unpredictable, our own choices sometimes create even greater challenges. It's shocking to think about how human actions can have such long-lasting effects on people and the environment. What do you think about these man-made disasters? Have you visited any of these places? Or have you heard of other similar tragedies? Which other disasters do you think should be remembered? Also, do you know of other human-caused disasters that changed the course of history? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for being with the Unknown Stories and Secrets channel.